Deep breath in, breathe out the nose. Just close your eyes and we'll do the breath of fire, panting like a dog. Take a deep breath in and relax. Good. Good. How you feeling today?
Feeling good, feeling good.
Yeah, I
What
see you
about
got your
yourself?
Inter Milan shirt on. Who do you guys play today?
Como. Should
Are
be
they
easy.
good? No.
It should be easy victory. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
We're known to drop some of the easier games. You understand? So
Are y'all
we'll
guys
see what
number
happens.
one? You guys number one in the Italian Serie A? It's Serie A,
No,
right?
Syria, yeah. No. But we're a couple. We have to make up for a couple games, so we could be potentially first
Who's
place.
who's number one?
Atalanta, which is in Bergamo,
Mhm. Okay.
near Milan.
But you're top of Champions League, right? You're like the second in Champions League, right?
Third or fourth, yeah. Third or fourth, yeah.
Who's number one? Like Liverpool or somebody like that?
Liverpool.
Liverpool is kicking butt, right? They're killing the
Yeah,
Premier League too, aren't they?
they're pretty much unstoppable at the moment. So yeah,
Yeah, they won. They won yesterday, right? They played.
I have no idea. I didn't
Yeah,
follow anything yesterday. I couldn't tell you. I don't
yeah.
know, but I wouldn't be surprised if they had. You know what I'm saying? I'd be
Yeah.
surprised if they hadn't even. Let's say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Who do you guys play next in Champions League? Like Dortmund or something like that, or no?
We had Dortmund a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Actually, I don't know. All we need is like 1 point to automatically be clinched. The the final eight. So
Oh,
or the
good.
final 16. Final 16. Sorry, and
Hmm.
that should be good. So yeah, we'll
Okay.
see.
Good.
See how that goes.
Yeah. Okay. So I asked you a question today. What do you feel about welfare? Welfare. First of all, what does welfare mean to you, and how do you feel about it?
It's a difficult question. I mean, when you think about it, it's possible to think of it as socialism. Saying that's been watered down. Um, but again, like I said, I don't want to mix welfare up with something that's a political system or
Hmm.
governmental system. I think that welfare for me is putting the well being of the public, your citizens, above all else. And I think isn't for me personally the way I define it. I don't define it as only um, these how can I say these projects and programs like I don't know like higher education for inner city youth, but I'm talking about even police departments is a part of welfare.
Mm.
Anything that has anything to do with the well being of any of your population is a form of welfare by definition for me.
So you think
Um,
welfare has kind of a negative connotation? And people think of it as food stamps and like trailer park people that don't work and just collect money. That is that kind of like that's kind of like the vision a lot of people see when you say the word welfare.
yeah, I mean, but again, that's why I said I think that's it does have what it should be is that people shouldn't associate it to, as I said before, we say, okay, yes, giving things to your public, but it's not really. It's just providing people with some of the things that they should already have,
Hmm.
with like, for example, protection, uh, the opportunities to to access certain things for all of your population. Those things should be available for everyone, and that's part of the welfare. It's like when they say well-being, it's the same thing. The fair comes from the Latin farcere, which is to do or to be, right? To have, right? So to
Hmm.
be well, to be well or
Hmm.
do well, and that's what it should be in the end, But a lot of people might look at it as handouts, and where I think that's where a lot of people, they get kind of caught up in this cognitive dissonance. Where they say, "Oh yeah, they're always getting food stamps, blah 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 blah, this and that." Like you said, these EBT cards and things like that. But then they're the first ones to cry, saying, "Oh, but the government should have these programs for us." Well, it's the same thing, you're asking for the government to always do something for you. It's the same, and and that doesn't get a negative connotation, and I think that's sad because a lot of people, and I think a lot of people who should also, and I've seen this growing up in America, that a lot of people who should have received some sort of assistance, they did it out of pride. You understand?
Hmm.
And and I think that's a shame, because it's had such a negative or connotation or aspect to it that they say, you know what, I'm going to do that because I don't want people to think I'm, saying I'm leeching off the system, but you're not. It's just you're in a moment where it's not the best for you. You know what I'm saying? You try to make it the best for you. So I think that's what it is.
But do you think that sometimes that people can get lazy when they get accustomed to getting like these food stamps and whatever else, financial checks on the first and the 15th of the month, on the first of the month.
I have to say that I truly disagree with that completely.
Hmm.
Obviously, you want to have programs set in place, to make sure that they are constantly, I don't know, are going for job interviews and things like that. Because we can say the same thing for any CEO from any major industry. What I mean, major company. You tell me that they just they're busting their ass. Oh, they might be working 30 hours a day. They're working 30 hours a day, just not doing shit, just going to five-star Michelin restaurants with clients, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And, things like that. So, you know, they get comfortable in their position and they get so comfortable that, you know what, they give themselves a $60 million Christmas bonus. That's not, it's the same thing, It's the same thing.
Hmm.
And you might say, oh, but they built it. No, because a lot of these companies sometimes get backed up and saved by the government or the taxpayers, what I'm saying? They get bailed out and then they're getting, and they're rewarding themselves, it's the same thing, I mean, I think that what happens is that everyone needs to be clear. Okay, if the government is giving you money, it's welfare. Punto. You have to say it like that. If everyone says that, then you must use it as that. You know what I'm saying? So when a company gets bailed out, that's welfare. When I don't know, even a rural area of very middle upper class neighborhood gets new parks put in and a new road paved by the government, that's a form of welfare. Or do we either we give it a precise definition, or we stop stigmatizing the ideal of it. You know what I'm saying? 99% of the countries in the world have a welfare minister or a welfare
Hmm.
administrator, a welfare secretary. That must mean that it's something that's absolutely one of those absolutely fundamental parts of a working government. For so many countries, so many developed countries today have a welfare department or minister or secretary. That
Hmm.
means that it's something that's necessary. That means
Hmm.
that this country will not work if it doesn't have this. And
Hmm.
so many people look at it such a bad way. I mean, and sometimes they get that oppression syndrome where some people think that what, if they find I'm on a welfare, then people gonna look at me and judge me badly. So you know what, I'm pass up on the welfare. And they might actually need it. So
Yeah, I get that, but do you think so? Basically, what you're saying is that welfare is needed because it's like I mean, even though it can be somewhat socialism, but all modern governments has aspects of socialism to it. But whatever it is, you need to have it. If you want to call it welfare or whatever you want to call it something else, you need to have proper incentives in place to make sure people are properly motivated. Is that what
definitely,
you're
definitely,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. They're gonna have to, if you're on welfare and you get, extra financial sustenance because you're out of a job. Yeah, you have to prove that you're applying for jobs, that you're going to job interviews, and doing things of the such. If you are, if you're getting financial support because due to where you live, because maybe some places have higher costs of living than others. So the federal welfare or budget might not be enough to cover completely or sufficiently your rent, your expenses, etc. So you know and yes, you're receiving some extra help. Okay, that's fine, but you have to also prove by going to, I don't know, go to some how can I say, some home economic and financial literacy classes. You know, to show that that, yeah, okay, we're helping you out because you know not everyone has their shining moments, and not every moment is a shining moment for everyone. But sometimes if given the right tools, we can build pyramids. We can build cars and things like that. So I think that's the thing. We just have to think that, okay, try to treat everybody fairly because like you said, there are going to be people who milk the system, you know, and screw them because they make it bad for everyone else. But that doesn't mean that it shouldn't be available for everyone. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
so does that mean that just because you got a few people that's milking the system, a few people might get lazy? A mother who has two children, who may have been laid off, had a decent job, did her due diligence, she should be out there suffering and probably without a house, especially with homelessness skyrocketing, all over the world, in American, especially like the big metropolitan areas, it's ridiculous, So,
Hmm.
I think that even though a lot of people think of it as free, or welfare means free shit, it doesn't really mean free shit. Like I told you before, to have police is welfare.
Hmm.
It's for the benefit of the community, right?
Hmm.
Because if you want to say, okay, we need to be, how can I say, autonomous. Okay, all right, police yourselves, and that's when we had the sheriffs back in the early cowboy days. Then the KKK. Police yourself. Run your own governments. Okay,
Hmm.
if we want to be completely autonomous, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like the thing is like, oh, that political party wants to breathe. You know who else used to breathe? The fascists. So you know what? They must be fascists because they breathe. Like no. Just because you have one aspect, because you want your people to survive, that's the form of any government. You understand? Not
Hmm.
just because it's communism. You know what I'm saying? So especially when you have so much wealth, And I hate to say that. Okay, just because you have wealth, other people should, or I mean that everyone should share in the wealth. No, what I'm saying is consider exactly how did you get that wealth. It's probably off the backs of people who were in modest and meager with modest and meager means. So
Hmm.
that's what I feel about it. I mean, do you think that a person who makes more money should pay, however, more to contribute to the welfare system than those who don't make so much?
I don't know. That's where it gets a little tricky. I think you want to incentivize people to make money. I think in America capitalism is good. I know in Europe it's not quite as capitalist. So you guys pay a higher tax, so therefore you're paying for people who can't afford to do it. And I don't want to destroy that incentive, but I think, like you said, there are some people in our society that do need financial assistance, and maybe that can come from more from corporations than individuals. I'm not really, unless maybe the really high net worth individuals, yes, they get taxed more, but like the people that are just like doctors that are only making a couple $100,000 a year, after they pay insurance and everything like that, they're just surviving too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, I
In
mean,
today's
yeah, no, definitely, definitely. I see what you're saying, but yeah,
and
but okay,
and it's kind of not fair for them. They went to college all those years and studied their ass
yeah,
off, and just for them not to have any money either. You want to make those people. They want to have. There need to be a restoration to the middle class or upper middle class in our society. Now it's just like there's no middle class anymore. Everybody's either ultra wealthy or just like pretty much
yeah.
poor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that you said you mentioned corporations, but you think that corporations would do something? They haven't done anything like that now. Actually, they've done the exact opposite until now.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, so I mean, but because obviously, yeah, like you said before, yeah, you might get a doctor who studied 8 years of his life, spending or studied extra 8 years, 10 years of his life, just to spend the next 15 years just to pay off what he did. What I'm saying, what he
Mm-hmm.
worked his butt off for her butt off for those 8, 10 years of university. Um, but yeah, but I mean that can be said for everyone, though. I mean, because like we said, life sometimes sucks. Sometimes it doesn't work out for you. And
Hmm.
when it doesn't, you should have something to fall back on. You should just, you shouldn't roll the dice every morning and say, you know what, let's see, come on, no bad luck today. Woo, no bad
Yeah.
luck today. Sooner or later, it's gonna hit you. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna
I
hit
I
you.
do. Hmm.
How well are how well are the columns and the foundations of your system when the shit does hit the fan? For the citizens. You know,
Hmm.
I mean, and I hate to say, because I've been there so long, but I'm constantly when I'm watching documentaries, I'm seeing that they're showing like or Nevada, Las Vegas, parts of California, parts of Detroit, where homelessness is just going crazy. Apart from the drug use, but also because it is getting tough for some people,
Yeah.
and it becomes difficult to cope with. Another thing is, like I said, to speak on to you about the point about doctors, I'll talk to you about something that's like a middle ground. You have a very, very common case with ex-military personnel, my
Mm-hmm.
ex-colleagues, you know, my ex fellow military personnel, who did 10 years in service, 11 years of service. They come back, they might be a little bit off their rockers too, a little bit, you know what I'm saying? They may
Mm-hmm.
have a little bit of post-trauma and they are not treated well.
That's
Okay, you
bad.
may say,
Yeah.
okay, well, the government should allocate a lot to Veterans Affairs. They do allocate, but also apart from that, the government or we should be able to receive a lot of the civil welfares also because we are still civil. We're civilians, now,
Mm-hmm.
and we actually contributed by protecting civilians and paying taxes in your civilian or corporation. And so many times do the military get looked over and they get impeded on because of what I'm saying, because they're looked at as second class or citizens after they get out. When
Mm-hmm.
they're in, thank you for your service, thank you for your service. I love a person in the uniform, and then after, like, okay, get away from me, you bum. Some
Mm-hmm.
people try to sell you a made in USA pen. Get away from me, bum. I don't want your pen. Get away from me.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think that because of the fact that it has such a bad name, it has so much taboo behind welfare that where it's needed is not being used, and it's being used in places where a lot of people don't understand that's what it really is. So I mean, if your government allocates, I don't know, and I'm talking about emergency situations like FEMA, which is also a form of FEMA, or welfare FEMA. So a lot of people are saying, well, what about when there's a hurricane that hits? So those people shouldn't get assistance. No, they don't need that. They don't need welfare. That's what it is. You understand? It's all
Okay.
part of all part of the same
What?
system.
What? How do you feel? How do you feel about UBI or Universal Basic Income?
I like the idea on paper,
Mm-hmm.
but I just think that you really don't change shit. You
Mm-hmm.
don't change shit at all. You just give motherfuckers 3,400 or 4,000, how much ever you want to set it to, extra a month, but you get everybody that same amount. So
Mm-hmm.
everyone's gonna be equally or proportionally poor or rich. You know, they have the same. You're gonna have the same amount plus 3,000, 4,000, whatever you're thinking about
But
doing.
don't you think that
It
4,000?
works. It works in systems. No, it works in systems like Alaska because Alaska also trades with the rest of the world and the rest of America where they don't receive UBI. But can you imagine the inflation? So, like,
That's what I'm saying.
I'm a
Inflation.
land
Yeah.
I'm a land I'm a landowner. I'm a landowner. You're my tenant, and you're paying 2,000 a month on rent. You get 4,000 off of UBI off jump. So I'm gonna say, why you only give me 2,000, son? Don't tell me you ain't got it. I know you got it. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So I mean, I love the idea of UBI. But I think it becomes very difficult when we think about applying it to everyone. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Or
But
I you,
you think that incentivizes people though? Because like everybody's gonna get it. So no matter what, you got your basic accommodations taken care of. You got a little bit of food taken care of. Now it's up to you if you want to make more money.
but to
So
what point? No, but to what point though? To what point? Because
would
okay, because what I don't know is what's the difference between that and giving people who already need the money now without implementing UBI. What about just giving those people that need it to get by that extra money?
but
Because
then that
like I said,
it's
the,
kind of like how like American football and like in European in soccer differs. It's like this: if you suck, you get relegated. You get
uh-huh,
relegated. Like in America, if you're a football team and you suck, you're actually sucking on purpose so you can get a number one pick. So
yeah.
it's like I'm not saying a lot of people are doing that, but some people are just like, you know what, fuck it, why work? Well, I can just collect welfare. You know what I'm saying? And so like if everybody gets the UBI, then it's like
It's
there's
gonna be
no
just as worse because now there's
that
gonna be inflation that's out. Inflation will be off the
that
charts.
that's
No
that
one,
that
and then no one outside of America, no one outside of America is going to trade with you because they realize how much your inflation is going up. So I'm not buying anything made in America.
that
And then people in
that
America are not going to be able to afford that. Like I told you before, if I'm your
that's a good point.
landlord, and I'm making you're paying $2,000 a rent a month.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that you make at least $2,000 plus
Mm-hmm.
this 400, 4,000, 5,000. Let's say $4,000 UBI per month. I know you could stretch 3,000. I'm like, yo, bro, you
Mm-hmm.
got 3,000. I know you got it. I know
Mm-hmm.
you're good for it. You know what I'm saying? So inflation is gonna be off the chart. So yeah, it's like I said, it's gonna make everybody just equally, proportionally as poor and or as rich as they were before. You know,
Yeah,
and it's going to close our borders to outside countries for trade because no one's going to. Okay, they're going to
yeah,
want to sell to us. They're going to
that's
sell
true.
to us,
That's
but they're not
true.
going to want to buy
True.
from us.
So
You
yeah,
know, 'cause even at a micro level, if I start to raise my prices, mid range will start raising prices. What's it going? Retail and wholesale is going to raise their prices. Production is going to raise their prices. Countries that deal with us overseas at a wholesale price are not going to want to. We're not going to be competitive anymore. You understand? And we're going to say, why should we be competitive if I can sell this same pen,
mm-hmm.
for $500 for to American? Why should I build it for $5 for a European? You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, no,
And
no, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
so
but
hyperinflation doesn't fix the system because that makes it even worse if you get UBI because everybody's like, yo, I know I don't have to do anything now because I'm getting some money this month, so so
mhm.
I mean, it's kind of like I think a good. Even though I didn't follow it so much, but I remember looking at it from the outside. When those COVID checks started coming in,
Mhm.
it was kind of like almost it was kind of like almost expected kind of thing, like
Mhm.
and I think that's how it would be with UBI too, though. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
like okay, like looking okay, that's a COVID check. Yep, I'm good. Get some Uber Eats for the next 3 days, then wait for the next Uber or the next COVID kick in.
For
So
sure. Well, I
yeah,
definitely
so
got the COVID unemployment, so no question
yeah,
about it. Yeah, but for me, I think I understand your point with the UBI because definitely it would cause probably mass inflation because your dollar just won't be worth the same as it would be prior to UBI. But
uh-huh.
I think that the welfare needs to be properly incentivized, and and people have to really
Definitely,
go
definitely, yeah,
like
definitely.
like if you got laid off, you got to do continuing education so you can get reskilled for a new job or something like that.
That's
I think
very possible. Yeah,
I think a lot of places they don't have that. You just like people just whatever they're just getting checks. So
yeah.
and
No,
they,
no, you're right. No, that's what I was getting at earlier. Training is so important. Training
yeah,
is so imperative. You know what I
education
mean?
education is important. Yeah,
Education. But the thing is, that's because we look at the system badly. We don't look at welfare as a program. We look at it as free money because it should be just like prison. Prison should rehabilitate and reform,
exactly.
not create other prisoners, not make a prisoner more isolated, excluded, and more criminal because he's going to probably learn new criminal ways. They don't do things to help reform you or to help you be rehabilitated into the system. Like you said before, you may
They
have
don't.
this isn't the case now, but it will be very soon. Imagine all of the truck drivers. Our country, America, is living off the back of truck drivers. In
Mhm.
about 15 years, truck drivers are going to be quite obsolete.
They're gonna be
I'm
obsolete.
sorry to say,
Yeah, it's like it's
So
like far
I
it's
mean,
like farmers. Mhm.
and how are you going to repurpose them? How are you going to retrain them? Training, 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 and that's what we mean. You can even incentivize someone by giving them a small stipend to come to school. You
Mhm.
understand? You want to use that money. You want them to come to school. You want them to learn. Have them come to school. Maybe even offer say, you know what? The top three of every class
Mhm.
goes on to become a teacher of this same program in
Mhm.
another community, another city in America. You understand? Like you said, you're always giving incentives, but we have to understand that it's a program and it's not a system of
Mhm.
giving out free money. You know,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Because no one, I think that no one should have to feel ashamed
Mhm.
for applying for welfare in their country. That's my opinion. If you think that you need to apply for welfare, it's because you see that you're in that situation. And you shouldn't
Yeah.
see yourself in dire straits. I think that if you're in dire straits and you're seeking welfare, it's already too late. There's already a fundamental problem with your country. You understand?
Mhm.
Um, I think that social programs exist because it's what help grows a country, a people.
Mhm.
It doesn't. It's not what weakens them. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Uh, we We put so much on trying to stop homelessness instead of trying to fix the problem of homelessness.
Mm-hmm.
You when you allocate as a I'm not going to say any city's name in particular, but when you allocate $100,000 to redo all of the park benches, making them unaligned, uncomfortable, with a stick in every foot and a half. You know, putting different things in spikes on the ground in front of shop windows, just so
Mm-hmm.
that homeless people won't sleep there. Instead of trying to say what your homeless problem is, it's similar to Japan. Japan has a 0% homeless rate.
They
They
did. I
have
didn't
a
know
lot
that.
of
Yeah.
people. They have a lot of people who are homeless. You understand? And that's one of the things because they made it so difficult for a homeless person to be outside, but they exist. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
these internet cafes where it costs like 10 yen to stay for the whole night. They stay out there all night. You go out to the countryside, sleep in the fields. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, instead of addressing what the problem is spending money there. You're spending money to try to stop that. Don't combat homelessness by making it impossible for homeless people to sleep because they need to sleep. First, try to figure out why they're homeless and how can we stop them from being homeless.
But
Obviously,
that's
there gonna be something that needs to, because that's part of the balance of life of society. But that doesn't mean that all of them need to be. You know what I'm saying?
well. I think a lot of like, going back to incentivization. I think politicians are incentivized poorly too. All they worried
Uh,
about is like the numbers, so they can preach about how they got homelessness down,
yeah,
but they
exactly.
don't. They're not really trying to find root problems in our society. They're just trying to fix surface things. They're like, oh, crime is down because we don't
Because
arrest
we
people.
killed everybody. Because we killed everybody.
We don't arrest people that steal things under $1,000 anymore. So crime is down. And so
Uh,
so
Yeah,
yeah.
we killed everyone that's not police, my family or the military. So yeah. So crime is down. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. So I
Mhm.
mean, but the thing is, like you said, it's incentivization. I mean, that works for everyone. Humanity thrives off of incentive. If I know that there's something in it for me, I will
Mhm.
work towards it. You know what I'm saying. So, I mean, but like I said before, I guarantee you that they can even turn around. Even politicians could turn it around if they made it so that when after some time, it might take a little bit longer, but that the welfare program start actually producing, then and it could even become a business, even what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Why not? You could even start a different different repurposing centers where truck drivers learn how to not even anything serious. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, like do simple programming. You know, factory workers who are able to do this, or I don't know, uh, what's someone or factory workers, or what are some other jobs that are being quickly taken out by robotics and AI?
I think factory workers, drivers of all sorts, those type of people are definitely being taken out. But a lot of we still high demand for electricians and plumbers and those type of
Yeah.
jobs too. You know,
Exactly.
like
They
more
could be
more
trading
more
those.
trade type stuff.
Exactly. So yeah, so I mean, like I said, these things are there's always, what I'm saying. I refuse to believe that there's never something for us to do. It's just that what we're used to doing might not be available anymore. It's kind of like when they were kind of pushing in 2016 and 2020. Oh yeah, let's bring back coal. Nobody fucking doing coal anymore, dog. And the people who are
Mm,
doing coal, we got machines to do that for us. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I mean, those coal jobs where you got the boogeyman coming out, completely soot and silt every day and getting that
Hmm.
that black lung after 3 weeks. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That's not necessary more. But that person exists in another field, in another sector, And I think
Hmm.
that the ideal is that we have to get it out of our brains that okay, we have to be like I don't want to be blasphemous, but we have to be like the Da Vinci's. We have to be multi talented. We have to be multi functional. You know what I'm saying? We can't just be stuck on one thing the whole time. I mean that's the
Yeah.
thing. I think when we learn that, then we can not only receive contribution from society, we can also contribute to society. You know.
Okay, I like that. I like that. But what about this? I'm gonna leave you with this one
Uh,
thing to talk about and leave our viewers something to ponder. So Elon Musk talk about this, like, and once again, we're going back to one of our futurist type of talks, but it's the future's becoming very close to being the present.
Mhm.
is that maybe humans are going to have to shift the way our motivation, our whole, as a species, because before we were hunter gatherers, we were to survive, we had to work, 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 but maybe now work is not necessary anymore for us as humans. So, how do you feel about this comment that maybe we have to shift the way we see life? Mhm. Like,
And I think that
like,
this is unfortunate. Unfortunately, I mean, I don't. You know what? I don't. Like I said, I don't want to say that anything is a bad ideal, especially when we talk about theory. But this is, I think, what the problem is of how some people see welfare. You know what? Now you humanoids, all you humans, stay at the crib, do nothing. Let us have AI do everything for you. Let us control your life. You know what? We'll even provide you the food for you. You know what? You don't even have to leave your house. Slap on these nice Beta glasses or these Google glasses.
mhm.
You know, and just live it out at the crib. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, we have where you and your friends can connect via headset virtually. It's like you're there with each other, like really, like real deep 3D, you know, graphics. You know, so you don't even have to leave your house. You know, save the environment, no carbon emissions. You know, that's where it becomes very, very, very dystopic. Like I said before, we want to reduce drastically homelessness or all of these other
Mm.
problems, social problems, but we don't want to eliminate it because can we really? I think that eliminating it is impossible. There always needs to be some kind of pushback, to have this back and forth, and I think
Mm.
that if we become completely dependent on everything running our lives, we become the robots. We become the
I just think we just fall down the food chain. We become the dogs. We become the cats. We become
yeah, yeah.
domestic. We become
Exactly.
domesticated, and the AI becomes on the top of the food chain. But maybe we live
But that's
such
all.
a.
It's already been the top of the food chain,
But
and
maybe
it hasn't. It hasn't even been AI yet.
but the
That's what you
thing
got.
is
That's
like
what you got
this. We call
Meta
it
and Twitter
AI. We call it AI because we're so human centric. Humans are kind of delusional, believe that the whole universe revolves around us. So anything that's not
our
human
intelligence,
intelligence,
human intelligence. Yeah,
it must be artificial intelligence. But maybe this is the way the cycles of planets and the universe has been going on for eons. And what we think is,
possibly. That's probably where everyone is.
it's kind of like what the architect said in the Matrix too. It's like this is nothing new. This is just
Yeah, this is the sixth. The seventh
it,
iteration of you motherfuckers. It's possible. I
exactly.
mean,
Yeah,
universe at least 13 billion, or at least 13.8 billion years old. We've only taken a small smidgen of the clock. So who knows? This might be in the same path that so many other civilizations have gone through.
yeah, for
They've
sure.
come and they've gone. So
And
or they might be, or we might be the first one to make this mistake. Who knows? But definitely, I just think that what our future holds is us being cognizant and aware that some programs do help people, and people need to be helped so that they can help back. And that's the thing. Incentivizing them makes them want to help, back.